All right, so today we're going deep on the man's guide to women.
Uh,
You know, we're all about giving you guys the tools to build those really strong, lasting connections, right?
Great. Absolutely.
And I think this one's got some seriously valuable
Oh,
insights.
yeah, for sure.
And I gotta say, some of it even surprised me. And I've been doing this for a while.
Right. It really makes you think.
Like, okay, one of the things that really stood out to me was that for a lot of women,
Mm,
feeling understood emotionally, that's like the most important thing.
huge.
Sometimes even more than, actually solving the problem.
It's true. The book really drives home the point that men and women, we just process emotions and thoughts so differently.
Totally different wiring.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's not good or bad. It's just about recognizing that difference and using it to your advantage.
So, okay, different wiring, but like, how does that actually play out in a relationship, in those day-to-day moments?
So think about it this way. Your partner's upset about something. Maybe it seems kind of small to you.
Yeah, I've been there.
And your instinct might be to jump right in and try to fix it.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Fix-It over here.
Right. But before you do that, just try this.
Okay, I'm listening.
Just say, hey, I can see that this is really bothering you. Can you tell me more about why it feels so important?
Wow, that's simple but powerful.
Right. It validates her feelings.
Yeah.
It shows you care about understanding her perspective, not just getting to the solution.
So it's not about dismissing her feelings or even jumping into problem-solving mode right away. It's about connecting emotionally first.
That's it. And that's where empathy comes in. Active listening.
Okay, so we're talking about really being present and tuned in.
Exactly. It builds intimacy. The book talks about how, for women, emotional connection often goes hand in hand with feeling safe and understood.
And that allows them to really open up.
Exactly.
So we're talking about active listening, empathy.
Yeah.
Are there any, communication traps we should be aware of?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Men and women often have totally different communication styles.
Oh, tell me about it.
And that can lead to so much confusion. The book really digs into this.
I'm all ears.
So men tend to be more direct,
Straight to the point.
while women might communicate more indirectly.
Okay, so what reading between the lines?
Exactly. And that's where those misunderstandings pop up.
Uh-huh. So how do we bridge that gap?
I statements are a game changer.
Interesting. Okay, go on.
So instead of saying, you always do this, which can sound like you're blaming her.
Yeah, that's not going to go well.
Right. Try, I feel hurt when this happens. Can we talk about it?
Okay, so shifting the focus to your own feelings and opening up a dialogue.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
way more constructive.
Got it. I statements. So we've talked about emotional communication. What about attraction?
Ah,
I'm guessing it's more than just looks, right?
you got it. The book goes way beyond the surface level. It
Hmm.
talks about the qualities that really matter to women in the long run.
Like what?
Reliability, emotional intelligence, a good sense of humor, genuine confidence, authenticity.
It's interesting that they emphasize genuine confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that so important?
Because it shows you're comfortable in your own skin.
You're not putting on an act.
Exactly. And that's super attractive to women.
It shows self-acceptance.
And that you're not trying to be someone you're not.
So how does all this translate into actually, courting someone and building a lasting bond?
It's about being attentive, respectful, genuinely interested in getting to know her. And, those little gestures of affection and appreciation, those go a long way, especially long term.
The small things add up.
A simple thank you, a thoughtful gesture. They can really keep that spark alive.
It's funny you say that because I was just reading an article about how...
Uh-oh.
No, but it's true. It's the little things that can sometimes make the biggest difference.
Exactly.
But, okay, let's be real. Relationships aren't always smooth sailing.
Not always.
How does the book suggest navigating those inevitable rough patches?
Conflict is a part of every relationship. The key is how you handle it.
Right.
Makes sense.
The book has some great advice, like using timeouts if things get heated. With timeouts. Like when we were kids.
Exactly. It can prevent those big blowout fights.
That's so smart. I never thought about that.
And it emphasizes focusing on the issue at hand, not bringing up old stuff.
Staying in the present.
Right. And always trying to find a resolution that works for both of you.
Okay, I like that. Finding that middle ground.
Uh-huh.
So we've talked about communication, understanding, finding common ground. But I got to ask about the science of attraction.
Ah, yes, the science of attraction.
Is it really just about looks, or is there something more going on?
It's way more complex than that. It's this fascinating mix of biology and psychology.
Okay, so break it down for me.
So yeah, physical attraction plays a role,
Right, of course.
but it goes so much deeper. It's about shared values, common interests, and that emotional spark we talked about.
So they'll have that connection.
Absolutely. And then there's this whole world of pheromones.
Pheromones. Wow, okay, I'm intrigued. Fill me in.
So pheromones are these chemical signals that can actually influence attraction subconsciously.
Whoa, so it's like on a whole other level.
Right. And the book gets into some really interesting questions about how they work and whether we can consciously control them.
That's wild. I'll have to do some more research on that.
It's a rabbit hole for sure.
So to wrap up, what are the big takeaways here?
Understanding the female brain isn't about, cracking some secret code or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not a puzzle to solve.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that women often prioritize emotional connection, feeling understood.
Mm-hmm. Seeing the world through a different lens.
Absolutely. Being a good listener, communicating effectively.
And remember, everyone, relationships are a journey.
It's constant learning and growth.
Right. So how can our listeners take all this amazing information and apply it to their own lives, not just with romantic partners, but with all the women in their lives?
That's the key, right? It's about taking this knowledge and turning it into action.
Right, putting it into practice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So being mindful of those communication styles, prioritizing empathy, really making an effort to understand the women in your life on a deeper level.
I love that. So there you have it, folks. A deep dive into The Man's Guide to Women. We covered so much today,
A lot of ground.
but this is really just the beginning. If any of this resonated with you, I highly recommend checking out the book. It's full of insightful advice and practical strategies for building those stronger, more fulfilling relationships with the women in your life.
It's a great resource.
So until next time, happy connecting.
Happy connecting.